If you like card tricks, stick around because Magician Karl Hein is in the hot seat. Stay tuned. Welcome back to CU at USC. I'm your host, Lauren J. And tonight I'm very excited to be interviewing a magician, Karl Hein. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You've performed magic all over the world and right here in Los Angeles at the Magic Castle. Where's your favorite place to perform?
I would say probably the Magic Castle. It's pretty great. It's a pretty amazing spot because you have all kinds of magician friends around. You get people coming to see magic. They're dressed up. They're in the mode, and it's just a great atmosphere to perform magic in, and it's great audiences.
But you've had kind of an interesting career path from college getting to this point. Did you know that you wanted to be a magician, let's say when you were entering college?
Well, I didn't necessarily ever have the goal of being a magician. I just always enjoyed doing magic. I liked it, and it was fun, and it's something that you make people happy, right? And it makes you happy when you make people happy, so it's a great thing. I did it through college. I was pre-med at one point in time and doing more of the science major, biology and chemistry and all that sort of thing. At some point, I realized that this is what I wanted to do. I just kind of kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's been great.
So you dropped the pre-med. You
At
stuck
some
with the
point,
magic.
yeah.
Was that a scary decision? Because I know, a lot of us in college now trying to make that decision of what we want to do for the rest of our lives. Was that hard for you at the time?
For me personally, no, but I know a lot of magicians, and so it's not easy to make a living in any art form for a lot of people. I think where I live in South Florida, here in Los Angeles, it's a great area for magic or for performing, but there's a lot more competition than there is in South Florida. There's a good culture down there. And so through college, I was doing it part-time at private parties and corporate events and restaurants and things like that. And so by the time I was graduating college, I already had a really good word-of-mouth following. So it wasn't a big risk for me because I already had a pretty steady income coming in from magic, just doing it part-time.
Do you remember the first time you really were captivated by magic? Do you have a memory of that?
Really captivated? Well, when I was very young, I saw a kid's magician do a show, so that's probably the earliest on. But what really got me into doing magic full-time is going to magic clubs. Every city's got a magic club, just like they have clubs for knitting or any kind of hobby or profession, and going to the magic clubs, and you would have these different performers come in and basically perform and lecture on the things that they created or the magic techniques that they would use, which is part of what I do now. But seeing a lot of really great magicians come through town was always really great. There's quite a few of them. Most of them people wouldn't know, like a guy named Tom Mollica, for example, was one of the early guys I saw, and just amazing, super funny, really talented, and so those up close, intimate were the best for me.
So you started performing magic and learning it at a young age.
About 8 is when I started. I got really serious around 13.
Okay.
So that's when I started going to the magic clubs and magic conventions too, where there's just hundreds of magicians that get together.
They have magic conventions?
Of course, yeah.
And people come out from all over the world for that?
Some of them are just more local. Some of them are international. Some of them are national. So it all depends on which convention you go to. I would say somewhere in the U.S., pretty much every weekend there's a magic convention going on. And then, of course, there's other ones throughout the world.
What for you was it that really just captivated you about magic? Why do you do it on a regular basis?
Well, I think magic's a great way to kind of look at the world, What magicians do is we say, what's impossible? How do we make that possible? So just as in any art form, as in music, you have got cover bands and people that actually create their own music. To me, a real magician is someone that creates magic. They create not just the moment by performing, but also creating the illusions to actually perform them. And so magicians say, this is an impossible thing. It's impossible to float something. It's impossible to make something appear out of nowhere. Then we figure out ways of creating that illusion to make it happen. And when you do that, it breaks down people's world for a little bit and makes them realize they don't know everything. And I think that's a good lesson in life in general, is we walk around thinking we know, but most of what we know is just an illusion anyways. So.
When you talk about figuring out how to make an illusion happen, When you're learning new tricks, are you learning it from other magicians, online? Like, where do you go to get your resources?
Well, the easiest analogy would be music. You know, when you first start off, you might tinker on your own on the piano or the guitar, but then you learn the basic notes, you learn the basic chords, and magicians have, you know, different moves we learn, different techniques we learn that are the core structure. And so the more of those notes and chords and basic ideas you know, the more you can put them together easily. But at some point, you start to create your own, right? And so, well, at some point, you learn someone else's full music, right? Or you learn someone else's full routines and you do them, and you put your little bit of personality into it and your own insight into the world, and then you create your own. So that's the normal progression for how, you know, magicians create magic. Yeah.
What's the hardest part about performing a whole magic show? Do you worry about messing up at all?
Yes and no. It depends. At a certain point, it's not about messing up. It's just about engaging with the audience. So when you do the type of stuff that I do, my type of performance is more close-up magic, so it's more small groups or maybe 50 or 100 people. So I'm interacting with a lot of different people. So with interaction, there's going to be things that happen that you just can't expect, you can't plan for, right? And so things go wrong all the time. And the type of magic I do is oftentimes very technically difficult. So there's things that happen, but that's the joy of it for me is figuring out how to get out of it. It's a you know, creating magic is a problem-solving thing. Solving the problem of how to get out of a bad situation is another problem-solving thing, and it's fun. And plus, people, I think, like it when a magician messes up to a degree, as long as the magician doesn't get all tense.
Yeah.
You know, people relate to people in trouble, although most of the time you would never even know it.
Have you had a show where everything just went up in flames?
Not that I can remember.
Okay. So
Not in flames particularly.
So no one has noticed when you mess up?
I wouldn't say never, but not very often, no.
What was that hard for you, trying to build your following on social media and really make being a magician a career?
Well, most what I do is word of mouth. So my philosophy is simple, is that you have to be so good that people can't ignore you. You know, I think it's a Steve Martin line. The way I say it is you gotta give people an experience that they want to share with all their friends and family. So hopefully when someone sees you perform, you break their reality in such a way that they want to talk about that. It's a story they're going to tell for a very long time, right? And that's how I get my business. So I don't focus as much on internet marketing or social media. It's more the one-on-one interactions when I'm actually performing. Okay.
And that word of mouth has gotten you to travel all over the world. How often are you traveling to perform?
Almost all the time nowadays. Things come in spurts. So sometimes I'll be home for a couple weeks or a month or two, and sometimes I'll be on the road constantly for a couple months. So like right now, I'm here in LA. I'm going to go to San Diego next, and then I go to Buffalo, New York for a magicians conventions, and then I go to New York City, and then back home. And then I think I'm off to Philly after that. So it's always something a little bit different.
Do you have a favorite city that you've been to, or maybe even country?
Oh, I have quite a few. I had an amazing little small tour in New Zealand, which was with a group of friends, as well as the magic there was really fun, and the country is just absolutely beautiful. I love Europe too. There's so much diversity when you travel throughout Europe. You know, Estonia is a great city, and country, and Sweden I like a lot too. So there's a lot.
Does the magic in different countries, is it super different from here?
It can be. There are some differences between cultures.
Yeah.
In Spain right now, there's because of influence of a couple Spanish magicians that are really famous, there's a big culture of magic in Spain. Japanese really like magic, but they're very different sense of humor. So the humor is very different, but they really react to visual, strong magic. And yeah, every country is, you know, just as they're culturally different, the way they react to magic can be very different.
So when you're performing in different countries, or even here in LA and for audiences from people all over the world, how do you have to adjust your performances so that you can relate to different people?
Yeah, I mean, there's different styles of performers, and some guys have a set act that's a 15-minute act or a 30-minute act. That's all they do, and so they only work in certain venues, and just like some comedians only work in comedy clubs, for example, right? Whereas what I'm doing is always something different. Sometimes it's just for 2 or 3 people here, sometimes it's for a bigger group, sometimes it's for 10 minutes or an hour. So all those things are constantly changing, which I personally enjoy. I enjoy that variety, but it's not for everybody, you know.
Do you still have to practice?
Of course. I mean, it comes in, again, like it comes in waves where I'll go through, if I'm working on a new show or new routines, I have to practice a lot. At a certain point, though, I find most of my practice comes from going out there and interacting and performing with people. You have to practice to the point where you can do something.
Yeah.
But when you actually are with people, the dynamics of how they react and how things actually work in the real world is very different than when you're home in front of the mirror by yourself, you know.
At this point, are you performing almost every day, or what is a day in the life of a magician, I should say?
Well, again, it's going to vary from magician to magician. For me, I value my free time. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy hanging out with friends and people I like while I'm traveling as well. So I make an effort not to stay super busy. Some guys don't feel like they're being successful unless they're working every day, 2 or 3 shows a day. For me, sometimes I'm doing that. Sometimes there'll be a week where I have 2 shows every day. Other times I might go a week or 2 without doing anything. It just really depends. So.
What would you say it really takes to be a magician? Is it a lot of, like, how much of it is being a good entertainer versus just having the skill?
Well, I think that there's the entertainment side of it, as you just said. So you don't have to be a great magician to be a great entertainer, right? You can be very funny, you can be very mysterious. There's lots of ways that you can make up for shortcomings in your skill or your creative ability as a magician. I don't necessarily call those people magicians. I think they're more, entertainers, exactly the word you said. I think to really do magic, you really have to make people feel that moment of emotion and wonder and astonishment. And so for me, that's what I'm always trying to go after. You want to be entertaining, you want to be engaging, but you also really want people to experience the unknown and mystery.
Okay. So when you say mystery, does that mean more just pure talent and being able to do the tricks?
Well, talent, there's different types of talent. So there's the talent you have with your technical ability to do certain moves and to hide the trick that you're doing. There's also the talent of timing and performance, right? And that goes back to being entertaining. But they're actually very interrelated. So your ability to perceive what I'm doing or what I'm not doing has to do with how I talk, how I look you in the eyes. If I'm looking you in the eyes, you're not looking over here, right? And
That's
if I want you to look over here, I look over here, and then you look over here. So that interaction is a big part of the talent. And some people are very natural at that and very good at it. Some people aren't so good at it. You have to really work at it. So it depends on who you are.
Do you have a favorite, types of people to perform in front of? Have you had like a favorite performance?
Favorite performance? I don't know if I've had a lot of many performances over the years, so I have a lot of good crowds and audiences. I like 2 different types of people. There's always, most magicians enjoy when you perform for someone and then they just literally lose it, right? They start screaming and they run away, they run out of the room, or
like scared?
Sometimes, yeah. I've had people cry, like
really?
break down.
Why?
Sometimes people, if magic's done right, it hits them at an emotional level, right, where they feel raw emotions, like some people get scared, some people get angry, some people get internalized, some people get super happy, and there's all different reactions to it. I personally like, because I perform for a lot of magicians and a lot of intelligent audience and sophisticated audiences, I love the skeptical people, where I can take someone that's very cold and very skeptical and very almost confrontational and kind of break them down to make them my best friend in that moment. I enjoy that. It's not for everybody, but for me, I really enjoy it.
So you've had people that get angry or are very skeptical towards you?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's not just me. It's people react differently to not knowing. Some people hate not knowing. Yeah. Right? And some people love not knowing. It just has to do with them more so than it has to do with me. But how I choose to interact with that then comes into play.
Okay. See, for me, when I see magic, I don't know, I get blown away, so I don't get angry or skeptical. So that's interesting that you say that people do get angry. How do you react when people are kind of standoffish towards magic?
Well, I think maybe angry is not the best word. I think that some people literally do, right? Especially when people have been drinking, for example. When someone's coming to see you perform, it's a little different. But a lot of venues that I work in, a lot of magicians work in, maybe you might work at a bar or a restaurant where the restaurant hires you to walk around and you're walking up to someone that not expecting to see magic, for example, right? Right. And so you might have 3 people that were really into it, but that 4th person, just for whatever reason, isn't into it. And so that's something that you have to deal with, is how do you make that work? And it's different every time, to be honest.
Well, we're going to see some reactions when we get back from the commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to CU at USC. I'm your host, Lauren Day, and I'm joined by our lovely associate producers, Talia, and then we have Sydney over here, and of course, our wonderful, amazing, magical guest, Karl Hein. He's a magician, and he's about to show us some magic, so I'll let you take it away.
Sure, sounds great. So, one of the things I'm somewhat known for is doing magic with Rubik's Cubes. Can any of you solve Rubik's Cube?
No.
I
can't.
It's because you have lives, that's why. But you've played with them before, right? I think everybody has pretty much touched Rubik's Cubes, picked one up and said, screw this, right?
Yeah,
That's pretty much the way it works. So, can you help me out here? Hold your hand just like that for me, Lauren. Just like a little table so we can present here to the camera here. And it's going to be a kind of Harry Potter style magic, all right? Okay. So we're going to solve it. This is the Cloak of Salvation. Okay. Are you a fan of Harry Potter?
I've honestly never
Put your
seen
finger on
Harry
top of
Potter.
that. Put your finger on top of this.
Like this?
Never seen Harry Potter?
No, I saw the first one and then I fell asleep.
Oh, man.
But I've been to
Harry Potter
Universal
World,
Studios,
right? Yeah. Although it's not very realistic, is it? I mean,
I haven't been there
I haven't
gotten the chance, but I heard the Butterbeer is really good there.
Butterbeer is my favorite. I make that disappear, of course. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
All right, so here we go. I know, right? So here we go. So with your best English accent, say Cubo Salvioso.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how to do it.
Cubo Salvioso.
Cubo Salvioso.
That's close enough. Let's see if it worked. Just loosen up a little bit.
What?
She's
Oh
a
my
witch.
God.
Burner. Pretty cool,
Are you
huh?
in on this?
Yeah.
How does that? What?
Now look, with the Rubik's Cube, a lot of people don't know this. You have to turn it at least 20 times in different directions for it to actually get mixed up. With a brand new pack of playing cards, if you play cards, you have to shuffle 8 times. A lot of people don't know that. So I'll give it a couple turns here, and I'll put it behind my my back here. Just say stop as I mix like this. Just say stop at any point in time.
Stop.
Right here, you sure? Okay, I'll bring it out right here. So I'll show this to the camera here so everybody can kind of see this. We'll do a time travel this time. You get the backstage pass here, okay, girls? So imagine there's a clock around my face. My nose is the center. At the top, you've got 12. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Over here, you have what number?
79.
Just 9.
9.
Yeah. There's 9, and then 10, 11, 12. Now, if you were to go back in time around the clock, right?
Wait, what?
It would just be solved. You see, it's time travel. It goes back in time.
What?
The best part is
Yeah,
I'm
what?
5 seconds younger. That's what's just
I
happening.
have no idea what you just said.
All right. So I'll tell you what.
I'm so confused.
Well, mix it up yourself. Give it a few mix. Confuse the cube as best you can there.
I'm gonna make sure
Let's give
you're
it a couple
not.
turns, and we'll let
my gosh, my
Sydney
heart's
give it a couple of her too. Let it out. Don't hold it
Oh,
in.
it's so loose. It's
Yeah.
like nice.
All right, now, Lauren, do you know the world record for solving a Rubik's Cube?
I don't know, like
If you had to guess, what would
10
it be?
seconds.
That's a really good guess. It's actually less than 10 seconds, believe it or not, on a cube.
Okay.
It's actually about 4.9 seconds, I think now. They just got broken recently. To me, that's pretty unbelievable. If you took a cube and you turned it one time every second, starting at the beginning of time, you'd still be turning it today and not gotten every single combination. So there's literally more combinations in seconds in the history of the universe. Now, it takes me about 15 minutes to do it for real. Kidding. So you mixed it, I've mixed it. You can see pretty much every color on every side of the cube, right? Do you have a favorite color on the Rubik's Cube?
Red.
Red, all right. So hold your hand like this for me. Put one hand on top, one hand on the bottom, so you cover it completely so I can't touch it, okay?
Okay.
So keep it like this. Wave your hand over top, Talia. I didn't do anything, I just for dramatic
just-
flair, yeah.
Just cause.
She thought she was doing something there. So you said red, yes?
Yeah.
So everybody say red.
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 Slowly lift your hand.
Oh my god, I'm scared.
Do you see any red?
No.
Do you see any red?
What?
Do
What?
you see any red? Look, only one color solved, the color red.
Oh my God.
Just call me Carl. That God stuff goes in my head. I get that all the
Get
time.
it? I have no idea what's going on.
So here we go. We'll do a little thing with a deck of cards here, all right? Can you hold the card box there for me? A deck here, they're all different. Do you have name a card, any card you want. Say it out loud.
Ace of Hearts.
Ace of Hearts. Oh, that's a great. It was right here. That's
I
too
know.
obvious. Come on, maybe I'm using that subliminal messaging. Give me a harder one. I wouldn't be able to
Okay.
guess.
Queen of Diamonds.
The Queen of Diamonds. So she went from being all about the love to all about the money. This is good. All right, so Queen of Diamonds. Let's see here. Queen of Diamonds. There we go. Can you hold your hand like this for me? Don't move. This is perfect. Hold right here so everybody can kind of see it. Now, you could pick Ace of Hearts. You can still change your mind. You can go back to it if you
I'll
want.
stick with Queen.
Jack of Hearts, 6 of Spades, 5 of Diamonds, 3 of Diamonds. Sure? Final answer? This is
Final.
amazing. You see what I did earlier? That's like a Jedi mind trick. You see that?
No.
Because that card I want you to pick. You sure don't want to change your mind?
I do not.
Exactly what I wanted her to say. See that? See, all the cards are different on the faces. That's so you can play cards with them. The backs, of course, they're all red, right? That's to match the box and the hair. Except for one, the Queen of Diamonds, the card I wanted you to pick. It doesn't have a red back. Turn it over and show it to the camera.
What?
Queen of Diamonds.
How?
That's so crazy.
But don't get a big head. The last 51 times it didn't work. The odds are just in her favor, right? So I'll make it change color. I'll make it turn red. Feel it. Make sure it's not heat sensitive. It doesn't change color with touch or anything like that, right? Right? Perfect. I'll put
real.
it back in the deck. Now, to make your card turn red, what I have to do is make the rest of the deck turn blue.
Oh my god.
So now every card in the deck is blue.
What?
Every single one, except for one.
No.
No, that
no
negative
way.
attitude. Come on. The Queen of Diamonds?
Oh my god.
So here, Tyler, hold your hand like this for me. That's the Queen of Diamonds, all right? Put that right in your hand.
Okay.
I'm going to cut the cards right here on the table.
Okay.
Say stop at any point in time you
Okay.
want.
Stop.
Right here, you sure? This
Yeah.
one or the next one?
This one.
This one here. Okay, this is the one she wants. It's the Queen of Hearts. Oh, this is perfect. Hold your hand like this. So you've got the Queen of...
Hearts.
It's going to change color. It's going to turn red in your hand.
Okay.
Queen of Hearts is now red. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I actually felt it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's still blue.
Oh.
But that's not the Queen of Hearts. See, that's now the Queen of Diamonds. That's yours.
Yeah, I felt it.
You felt it, right? Yeah.
Wait.
If I got the Queen of Diamonds, that means you have
No
the,
way.
the Queen of
Oh
Hearts.
my
Oh my
gosh. That's so
What?
crazy. I'm
This is
actually
You girls really need to get out more
so
often, all right? Seriously.
impressed right now.
So here,
Oh
let's
my
try this here. We'll do
God.
it a little differently. We'll put the card box down for a second here. Lauren, I want you to pick a card, but
Okay.
don't let us see what it is, okay?
Okay.
So take any card out your one here. I'll just go like this. Say stop at any point in time.
Stop.
Is that card okay? Or we can keep going if you want a different one. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you shuffle it all?
Yeah.
Just give them a little mix like this. A little turn like
Like what?
that. Just a little mix or cut or shuffle, whatever you want.
I can shuffle any kind?
Any way you like.
Any way?
Take your time. But not too much.
Is that
Now,
good?
you didn't see the card, did you? They left this out.
Yeah.
So now you know how I feel all the time.
Now
No one ever
you
shows me the
can.
cards. I never do. They're all different. They're not all the same. We can show that to the camera, and you can see that as well. I'm going to spread through like this so we can see the faces here of all the different cards in the deck of cards. All right, you see that? I take my finger, move it along. Just say stop whenever you like.
Stop.
Right here, you sure? And keep going or go back a little bit? Right here is
Right,
good?
a little bit back.
A little bit back, right?
No,
here?
no,
Here?
no. A little
Is that
forward.
card
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that one's
Are you
perfect.
sure?
Yeah.
That's the one you want? Yes?
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Are you sure?
Me too.
Hold
Yes.
that card. Now, don't move. Now, if I could find the card you chose, read your mind, guess the card. That'd be pretty impressive, wouldn't it?
That'd be really impressive.
If I didn't, I would stink as a magician, let's be honest. Why would I even be here? But if Sydney could find your card,
No.
She's in on
she
this?
can't.
that
I
would be
can't.
pretty awesome, wouldn't it? You might even pee your
That'd
pants
be
a little
pretty
bit,
great.
right? Just a little
That
bit.
I might, to be honest.
What'd you choose?
Do I say it?
Yeah.
6 of clubs. No.
Oh, she's unbelievable.
I'm a
That's
magician
amazing. How did
now.
you do that? It's very talented.
We're in on
You're
it.
very good.
Oh my
Very
god.
good.
How? I want to learn.
She just got lucky.
Yeah, can you tell us like how?
You can tell them a secret
We
later,
practice
only if you give them like 50 bucks.
thought
They give you
so.
50 bucks. So, okay. So we'll do one last one here. I have a couple dollars here. You can check them out, make sure they're real, not like special bills or anything like that. And if you have $1, I can use yours. I don't want you to think it's special money. I'm going to roll my sleeves up. Now, the reason why I do this, never smell dollar bills. It's not a good idea.
I'm gonna skip out on
You never
that.
know what
I'm
these are.
good.
All right, so I'm going to try to do here so you can see from the back here, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 $1 bills on the faces, on the backs. Now, Lauren, if you had real magic powers, I mean like Harry Potter style, right? What would you do with this money right now?
Turn it into $100 bills.
Or turn into more money. That's all like her style, right? Some people say 20, she said 100. Grab my wrist. Make sure anything goes up or down my sleeves, because sometimes people think magician, things come out and go back
Like
in.
this?
Yeah, just don't steal my watch, all right?
Okay.
You can tell she's kind of shifty. Watch right here. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
What?
And
What?
now it's 500. That's real. You can look at it, hold it to the light, make sure you can see through
No
it.
my
freaking
God.
way.
Just got her attention all of a sudden, didn't I?
Oh my
And we
god.
can keep it? Oh my
Yeah, this is a gift
I like the
for
way you
us.
think. Now the only problem is I have to turn them back, because if I could really do this, I wouldn't be here right now, would I? be in Hawaii or something. Yeah. So watch 100,
mind
200, 3, 4, and 5. Hundreds on the faces, hundreds on the backs. Watch it as close as you possibly can. Still $100 bills, just a little shake like this.
What?
What?
And I'll go right back to the water.
I feel like my eyes are like deceiving me.
Oh my
How
god.
is that
Crazy.
possible?
I have no idea.
I don't even know how it works. It's crazy. I know, it's nuts.
It just happens. You don't know why.
So which one of all the tricks that you just showed us is your favorite to do?
My favorite, well, I would say probably the money one because, you know, I mean, you can do it pretty much any time, right? You can walk out, you always got a couple dollars, you can always borrow money. It's something I always have in my wallet because I've always got dollars, so as long as I got money, I can do it. Now, the thing is, the $100 bill thing, you can't really do for real because it's illegal. Obviously. If you want to do it for real, what you do instead is this. You take the dollars, and instead of turning in the $100 bills, what you want to do instead is just multiply them. So if you just turn them to a whole bunch of ones.
What?
So then you can spend them because the Secret Service doesn't track these. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Smart.
Little lesson. Yeah.
I need
And
to be able to
I
do
like that one for obvious
Me too.
reasons.
Okay. And so you're kind of known for Rubik's Cube magic. How did you even come up with that idea? Did you come up with that idea, or you just...
Well,
Were you
when the
just good
Rubik's
at
Cubes first came out in 1981, many people came up with different ideas for how to solve a Rubik's Cubes, magically speaking, right? But when I learned how to solve it, I came up with some of my own ideas, and they were a bit different. And a lot of them, you know, they use special gimmicks or things like that, whereas everything I use with a real normal Rubik's Cube, you felt that you could examine it. It's not like it's a special, you know, self-solving one or some mechanical cube. And so I want to come up with illusions that can use a real cube and skill and presentation and just make it something I was interested in me, and I think that's something that interests everybody. Everybody wants to know how to solve it, right?
Yeah.
So.
Talia and Sydney, which one was your favorite?
I love the one when I picked the card out because that was kind of like
'Cause it's all
my
about her.
trick.
Because it's all about you.
Exactly.
I mean, I felt like I was the magician for once.
I liked the money one because I just felt like I was watching it, and then all of it, like, I felt like I was
Instant.
really,
Right.
literally looking
It's
at it.
visual too, so you
Yeah.
can see
Yeah.
everything, right?
And I just have no idea what
And
happened.
I liked the Rubik's Cube one because that happened in my hand. But unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks
I
for
know
having me.
we're both blown away. Be sure to tune in for more episodes of CU at USC right here on Trojan Vision. Good night.
The Robert Zemeckis Center, home to the award-winning television station Trojan Vision. Here, we foster brilliant students who produce innovative weekly television shows. Our students have won numerous awards in categories like Best Producing, Directing, and Writing. The success of Trojan Vision could not be possible without the creativity, intelligence, and vision of our students. Trojan Vision, award-winning, student-run.